Ronda was asked in an interview specifically about what she thought her chances would be against Floyd Mayweather. Now, she goes on in the interview to answer the question that she was asked. She praises Floyd as a boxer, touts him as one of the, if not the greatest boxer of all time. However, she does specify that, and that in a boxing match he would destroy her. In a boxing ring, in a boxing match, she would not stand a chance. He would destroy her. She then goes on to continue to answer the question by stating that, however, in a no-rules fight, such as, the UFC, MMA is, that she believes she would beat him and that she believes she can beat any person on the planet. Not that she would beat any person on the planet in any fight, but that she could, that she's capable of beating anyone on the planet, male or female, in a no-rules fight. Now, first and foremost, this is where I'm going to call out Ronda, because that is the only place in this whole interview where she made any kind of error. When she referred to a UFC MMA fight taking place in an octagon as a no-rules fight, what she meant was exactly what I just said. What she meant was in an octagon MMA rules fight, she would beat him and arguably anybody on the planet. That's what she meant, that's what she should have said, and that's the only place that she erred in this interview, okay? Because a no-rules fight, okay, that's way more vague and open to interpretation. A no-rules fight can involve knives and guns and a posse or an entourage. Seriously, in a no-rules fight, Floyd Mayweather wins that because he just pulls out a gun and shoots Ronda. Or, 15 of his entourage and posse just go gang up on her, hold her down, and then, Floyd sits there and, goes to town on her like a punching bag. So that's where she erred, was when she referred to what she does in the octagon as a no-rules fight, as opposed to referring to it as a sanctioned MMA UFC fight. One thing she also did say in the interview that I loved is she pointed out that Floyd Mayweather he wins boxing matches, okay? Floyd Mayweather wins boxing matches. Ronda Rousey wins fights. And I could not agree with that more. To win a fight, you need to beat the other person. Floyd Mayweather rarely beats anybody. He just avoids getting beaten himself. And in the sport of boxing, it is possible, very possible, Floyd's made a career at it, like I said, of running from your opponent, avoiding damage from your opponent, and scoring points that way. Ronda Rousey doesn't score points. She goes out there and beats the other person in a fight. Now, for the record, I am a huge Ronda Rousey fan, both as a fighter and as a human being. On the other side, I am only a moderate fan of Floyd Mayweather as a boxer, and I am 0% of a fan of Floyd Mayweather as a human being. I can't stand the guy as a person based off of what I know about him. So, I'm being honest, okay? But that is not here's the important thing, okay? And this is the lesson I want everybody to learn from this topic by the time we're done with it, and to take this forward every day from this point on. Having stated those honest facts about myself, those feelings of mine do not in any way, shape, or form have any influence on what I think would happen in this hypothetical fight if Ronda were to box Floyd in a boxing ring, or if Ronda were to fight Floyd in a UFC octagon, in an MMA fight. my feelings and opinions and predictions of what would happen in those situations are based solely 100% off of my sports intellect. My personal fan feelings are completely irrelevant and removed from that equation. It's not to say, like I said, now when we get to the end, they do coincide with each other. It does work out that way in this case. But those, like I said, that fandom in me, or anti-fandom in me, is not allowed in my head to determine what I think's going to happen. I have sensible, logical reasons for why I think the way I think. It's not to say I'm right, but at least I have sound reasoning for my opinion in this hypothetical situation, like I said. So, here's what would happen, okay? In a boxing ring, in a boxing match, Floyd would embarrass Ronda. Not just win, not just beat her. He would embarrass Ronda. Because Ronda's not a boxer. Ronda can punch. Oh yeah, Ronda can punch. And Ronda can take punches. But boxing is a sport that Ronda Rousey is not an expert in. That's not what she's trained. She knows some of the skill sets, some of the techniques, but that's not how she makes a living. Floyd, it is. Like I said, he'd embarrass her in a boxing ring. Now, going to the hypothetical UFC in an octagon cage fight, Ronda Rousey would borderline kill. And I'm not using that word in any sense other than the literal sense. She would borderline kill Floyd Mayweather. It wouldn't even be close. You think the 14 to 34 seconds that her last couple fights have been in is fast? Floyd Mayweather wouldn't make it to 10 seconds. Unless he was literally able to, run away from her for that long of a time, like literally running around in the octagon. But that's the thing. In an octagon in the UFC, there is nowhere to run. You can't get away from the other person. If you're up on the ropes, like which it would be in boxing, they give you a break. The other guy in boxing grabs a hold of you, they stop him, break it up, start over. Floyd would get none of that in UFC. All Ronda would have to do, approach him, and give him one frickin' jiu-jitsu kick, leg sweep, and boom, he's done. That's it. He's on the ground, she jumps on him, pounds him a little bit, slap him into a submission. Boom, done. Or Floyd tries to come out and actually throw a couple punches and start the fight. She catches it. Boom, armbar. 5 seconds. Like, seriously, Floyd wouldn't land a single punch on Ronda Rousey in an octagon. Okay? He would destroy her in a boxing ring. Destroy her in an octagon. He wouldn't lay a punch on her. He wouldn't land one punch. At least not while they were standing. He might land a punch or two while he's on his back on the mat, flailing desperately for his life. Like I said, out of desperation. But he wouldn't land a single punch. Ronda would leg kick him. Boom. Take him out. Or she'd just shoot his legs. Take him to the ground. Boom. Out. Or she'd let him throw the first punch. Catch it. Armbar. Boom. Out. It's not even close, okay? So why does this have me on fire? Why do I care? Because so many idiots out there in the world. There's too many idiots, okay? If you're a sports idiot, or if you're just an idiot in general, please continue to listen to Balls Deep Sports Talk with your host Scotty Ball every week on WNLMradio.com or on many other platforms, broadcasting platforms, Spreaker, YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn app, etc. Because ultimately that's what we're going for here at the show. My goal is to help everyone who's willing to become a better sports fan. I'm not saying we all need to like the same people, have the same opinions, have the same predictions, agree with each other, anything like that. That is far from what I am saying or trying to accomplish. What I am saying and trying to accomplish is that when you form an opinion, form a thought regarding a person, a subject, an event, anything like that, it needs to be based off of sensibility. Is that so much to ask? I don't think it is. I really don't. I don't think it is. I don't think it's too much to ask that sports fans actually have a sensible, logical reason for their take on a situation. I read so many nonsensical takes saying Floyd would destroy her. Ronda needs to get off her high horse. She thinks she can beat any man in the world in a fight, and so she needs to get off her high horse. I read one idiot say that Ronda fights third-class tier garbage of opponents, and Floyd Mayweather is a top-class world prize fighter. Are you kidding me? Ronda Rousey's last two opponents, possibly 3 or 4, I don't remember that far back, but I know the last 2 fights she's had, both of them were against people who were undefeated. In Beth Correa here, and then Kat Zingano before that. Undefeated. So, how is beating people who have never lost in their life before in their profession and doing it easily, mind-blowingly, convincingly, how is that fighting third-class talent or third-tier talent? And vice versa, you're going to call Floyd Mayweather a top-class world prize fighter who, does fight all kinds of tough people? Okay. First off, Manny Pacquiao. He ran from that guy for over 5 years. It wasn't until Manny Pacquiao was somewhat of a washed-up has-been that he was willing to take that fight. His upcoming fight against Andre Berto is supposed to be, he has announced he is intending this fight, Floyd is, to be his final fight ever of his career. It will take place in September. So just a month away. He's fighting a guy named Andre Berto, who no one's outside of the hardcore boxers have ever heard of. And this guy has lost 3 of his last 5 or 3 of his last 6 fights. How is that going out gracefully on top, beating the best? No, Floyd Mayweather has made a career of fighting third-class tier competition. Ronda Rousey is simply a victim of her circumstances. It is not her fault that she is so head, shoulders, knees, and toes above all of her competition in the world, with the exception, maybe, of one Chris Cyborg. Now, Chris Cyborg, that's another story. Maybe we'll save that for another day, because I wanted to stick just to this idiocy of the Floyd Ronda stuff, and then we'll move on to more sports talk. But so I'll try to wrap this up here on the Floyd Ronda thing. But in reading all the comments, hearing all the feedback, all the different sides of thought on, would Ronda beat Floyd Mayweather in a UFC octagon fight or not? And so many people saying that she couldn't, would get killed, Floyd would destroy her. Those people are some of the dumbest human beings on the planet. If you're listening, yes, I'm talking about you. You are an idiot if you think Floyd Mayweather would have any chance to even remotely give Ronda Rousey any kind of threat, scare, or challenge in a UFC MMA octagon fight. I mean, heck, we don't even know if Floyd Mayweather can take a punch. We know that Floyd can throw punches. That's all Floyd can do. And avoid But again, he exploits the rules of the sport of boxing to run away from the opponent.